Hey guys, Mike here. We watched a movie. Jay's not here. We went out last night and we were supposed to shoot videos with Michael today. We went out last night and I guess the Michelob Ultra was too much for Jay to handle. I know. And look at Michael. I let him be in the video today because he's like a poor stepchild whose dad promised to come over and play t-ball with him and never showed up. Just look at his black eyes. So I watched Spectral today. I heard about this movie a while back, and basically it's military dudes hunting ghosts. And I'm not going to say whether they are or aren't ghosts. It's a big mystery. It plays out in the movie. But for the sake of, just to make it easier for you and me, let's just call them ghosts. And that's basically it. There's these special goggles or whatever that are made for the military. And they start seeing these ghostly figures on them. People start dying and they don't know what to do about it. So they bring in the guy who made the goggles and like, dude, what the fuck? Why is it showing ghosts? What are these things? So they figure it out, and him and this military team get caught in this war zone with these things coming after them and trying to kill them. And they have to figure out what they are, what weaknesses they have, how to stop them, and how to get out alive. I mean, if they can't figure it out and stop it, clearly it's just going to keep running through people like Pauly Shore used to do girls back in the 90s, and everyone's going to die. That's what these things do. They just kind of pass through you, and they look like Lawnmower Man mixed with the Frighteners, and much like Jay's dick, if it gets inside of you, you die. The cast is total middle of the road. Everybody does their parts okay, but nobody is really given anything to chew on. It's like a Call of Duty video game movie. It's a video game movie, but when you get military guys hunting ghosts, that just lends itself to 1,000 fucking points of coolness. And that's what sounded so awesome about this movie. It gets disappointing though. I mean, ultimately, they try to get very, very sciencey with stuff. And when you're going to do that, if you're not going to give some sort of explanation to it, it just makes it boring. Because that's where all the interest comes from. I mean, yeah, it's fun. I'm a guy who likes, stupid ass action movies with no explanation whatsoever. I can suspend my belief for a ghost movie or whatever, but in this movie they try to walk both sides of the fence. Like, he just says a bunch of mumbo jumbo science shit and he's like, if my math's correct, we just made a new weapon in 18 seconds. Like, guy's like, oh, I've got it, I figured out what kind of weapons we need to make. And then they're like, okay, let's do it. And they literally fashion like Demolition Man fucking guns. Like you remember in Demolition Man when Wesley Snipes goes into the museum and he takes all those futuristic weapons? They literally make these things. They make these weapons out of just shit that's laying around. And there's a fucking ED-209, literally, that they create. That's like fucking walled around full robotics that they make during like a lunch hour. I can go so far, but that's ridiculous. You're not even fucking trying. Like, you couldn't make a super soaker out of what the fuck was in there, man. There's no way this just happened. They do steal a lot from other science fiction movies, but it's kind of cool. There's literally a Newt, the character from Aliens, who ends up, to me, being completely fucking pointless, but they spend some time on her. There's a Newt, there's an ED-209 from RoboCop. The whole thing feels sort of Halo-ish, and like I said, the ghost figures are Frighteners mixed with Lawnmower Man. This movie loves sci-fi, and as far as the way it looks, it is cool as shit looking. Like, it looks really good. It has to be semi-low budget, but they made the effects and the CGI really, really stand out and look very well. I didn't see a lot of stuff where I was like, oh, that looks like shit. I mean, obviously it's CGI, and yeah, it's a little bit low budget, but they did a really, really good job with the look of this movie as a whole. The director really likes Michael Bay, not just from the cast, because they got half the cast from 13 Hours, but like when there's action scenes going on, he will literally tilt the camera to the side and zoom in and do all the same exact things that Michael Bay does. But there's some really, really cool action sequences. Basically, what this movie ends up being is a cool-ass video game movie. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to the characters. They're interesting enough, but they don't give you anything to go off of to really get interested in them. It's just like, hey, this guy's really smart and he makes shit. The problem is that the movie ebbs and flows with what the storyline is. What makes it so interesting is, where do these things come from? What are they? And they take what seems like a really cool idea and they ruin it themselves. And it feels like they just got lazy. Like, halfway through the movie, you got this cool idea, military versus these ghost figures, really interesting, everything looks really good, and up to the halfway point, I'm fully into this movie. When they got lazy and they tried to go, well, I guess we have to explain this shit now, it was like, oh, come on, man. You guys could have thought of something more interesting and better than that. The movie just became uninteresting. It lost its horror aspect, it lost the fun sci-fi aspect. It's just literally, at this point, the only good thing about it is just watching it unfold on screen like a Michael Bay movie. So I was really disappointed with the end of Spectral. It seemed like such a cool, badass idea. It just didn't pan out. So ultimately, I'm going to give it a 5.5. That may be unpopular because I think people are really liking it. Comment down below, guys. Let me know what you guys think. It's on Netflix. You can watch it right now. What a badass premise. A lot like R.I.P.D. disappointed so many people because, like, the idea of just you know, action mixing with like horror elements like ghosts and shit like that, and sci-fi is just really, really fun. And when they hit that right and they do it, it's such a cool thing. So you hear these ideas like R.I.P.D., which we actually liked a little bit and thought it was pretty funny. Gave it a lot higher score than everybody else did. But they're so disappointing because it's such a cool premise, and then they just lay out this just standard movie, and I don't know. Question of the day, what is your favorite Netflix original of any kind whatsoever? Stranger Things, the shows, the movies, whatever. What is your favorite moment? What is your favorite piece of content that Netflix has ever created on their own? Comment down below. Let me know. I love your fucking faces. Don't forget to give Jay a bunch of shit down low. That sounded weird. He already has a bunch of shit down low. And I'm not talking about penis size. I'm talking about venereal diseases. Comment down below. Let us know. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. I need some goddamn water. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you.